control.
Saren will be stripped of his Spectre status.
We're sending you into the Traverse after Saren.
Each time a great civilization rises up, it is suddenly and violently cast down.
They were wiped out by a race of sentient machines, the Reapers.
Normandy, your arrival was not scheduled. Our defense grid is armed and tracking you. State your business.
I've heard an Asari Matriarch is here. Benezia?
She arrived a few days ago, accompanied by a personal escort and some cargo. She came here as Agent Saren's executor. Peak 15 is a private facility in the Skadi Mountains. Regardless, there is a blizzard in the area. Shuttles are grounded and surface access has been cut off.
I'm trying to find a way into the garage. I have places to go.
Mr. Analaeus closed my office. He claims to be investigating reports of my corruption. Violence against Mr. Analaeus' thugs may be necessary.
Freeze! Hanshan security. This office is sealed.
I'm going in there and I don't want to hurt you. Why don't you just go?
You want to cause trouble?
Allow me to reintroduce myself. Parasini, Noveria Internal Affairs. The Executive Board knows about Analaeus' corruption. I've been undercover for 6 months.
I need Keen's garage pass to complete my mission.
You help my investigation, I'll provide whatever you need.
Any news on that matter I asked you to look into?
An internal affairs investigator contacted me. She wants you to testify against Analaeus.
I have no interest in a public spectacle.
If you're not willing, here's the evidence.
I appreciate your discretion. I believe you require a garage pass.
What did you do here, Commander?
Me? I'm the victim here. The Geth attacked us.
Geth, you expect me to... Where did they come from?
The Asari bitch came with a bunch of cargo. They were probably packed in those.
If Benezia-sama's containers were packed with these things, there are many more out there. I must report to the Executive Board. If word gets out about loose Geth, there may be an investor panic.
User alert. All Peak 15 facilities have suffered a great deal of damage. Biohazard materials present throughout facility.
Okay, is this on the 1 or is this on the 360?
No, this is on the 1 now.
Oh, well, that explains it then. Okay.
Well, yeah, but we've been on the Xbox One for a while. So, yay, we're back. We're back in Mass Effect on the Xbox One in Backward Compatibility mode. We're on Noveria. What's the name of the... you know, I've forgotten. Oop, stupid grenade. I never use those things.
Well, you get used to
yeah,
one
so
game.
we're at the garage, Peak 15. We've just come in, and we're after Matriarch Benezia, who's up here with a bunch of Vex. We're trying to figure out what's going on.
Wait a minute, did you say a bunch of Vex?
Oh, I said Vex. I meant Geth. I meant Geth.
Well, that's just
that's that
the
grenade.
focus of us on game titles as well as the similarities between the actual games.
Yep. Okay, now that's the elevator. This is the door we came in. Remember, because I think it was Wrex said something about why the guns were aimed the wrong way.
Yep. Wrex with the Vex and the Geth.
Oh, my decryption skill is too low. Well, I guess I know what I'm putting my next upgrade point into, don't I?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a weird spot for the door if it actually slide open, you know, when you think about it.
All right, let's hit the lift. Hey, time to elevator. We got to have a time to elevator counter for every episode.
Why hit the lift? What did it ever do to you?
Anybody who's played a lot of Mass Effect knows what the lifts have done.
They know what they did. Let's find new and interesting ways to open doors, because, wow, hinges? Yeah, just not welcome in the future.
Okay, everybody check your corners.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop.
Heads up.
I'm using the wrong kind of rounds for this. I've got the green things I think are for biological targets. Geth are not biological.
Biological targets.
Yep.
Oh. I'm sorry. Could you hold up? I seem to have bought the wrong bullets.
That's okay. We'll wait for you to change.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Oh, I leveled up. Hey.
Oh, no, you lied.
All right, so decryption. Decryption. Where's my decryption? Here we go. I got 2 points. Okay. I got 2 points. I put them into decryption. Well, okay. And
is that all you needed?
Liara gets 2 points. What'll I put those into? Let's see. First aid, I think. And Wrex.
Haven't touched fitness.
I'll give Wrex fitness. It increases his health. It also gives me a milestone there because there are extra bonuses at the positions where the triangles and the pluses are. All right.
Wow, he doesn't have a throw or a stasis.
There's still another target in here, off to the right somewhere, but I think. Oops. I think I hit Wrex with that a little bit.
Ouch.
I'm gonna try a flanking maneuver here.
Yeah, he's gonna be really cold on the ride home.
Oop. That was a weird cinematic transition there. The little cutscenes are kind of like the old Halo ones where
they just kind of interject.
Well, they interject, but also you'll see you'll see the results of what the battle's gone on in the same scene. So when those Geth shields are there, they show up in the cutscene. Okay, so now we're introduced to a new enemy, and these are why it's a good idea to actually have those bullets for biologicals during this mission. Yeah, the green ones, because these are Rachni, which are kind of like a big insects.
I love how every enemy that you ever meet has to have this very expressive scream and or animation to express its anger or disapproval of your presence. And I wonder, it's like, do humans have the equivalent if we were to just scream, raise our hands out, stick our fingers out, and go bleh? And that's not exactly a natural action when you think about it.
Oh, here they come.
Unless, of course, we're just treating things as animals.
Well, it's an interesting thing you bring that up.
Oh, why is that? Let me guess. They're animals.
What were those?
Yeah, you see what I mean? That
but someone in this mountain does. Dead and done, just the way I like them.
Okay, healing.
I mean,
whoop. Oh wow, scary door.
I mean, just in the world of nature, usually those displays are to frighten off potential predators and things.
Gravitic weapons research. Oh, I'll take that.
Well, gravity kills. Oh, look, somebody broke the door. What's all the snow over here? Doesn't somebody shovel?
Well, I think they might have been people to shovel, but something's happened to them.
Great. They always go for the shovelers first.
Well, they were out in the snow. Oh, yeah, I can hear something screaming around the corner here, I think.
You leaving footprints? Curious if you're leaving footprints.
Yes.
Ah, but how long do they stay?
Oh, wow. I'm fighting the urge to hit a button to reload after every one of these things, even though, I mean, this game doesn't have reloading, basically. Okay, get some meta-gel out of that. Yeah, so yeah, there are footprints. I think they just fade,
They just fade, yeah. It's too bad.
Let's see how long they take.
I think it's just a few seconds.
I think it's when you place new ones. So So I think as you walk, the old ones go away, but if you just kind of stand there looking at your last footprint, it'll stay.
Hmm. Interesting.
Oh my god, another lift. I could never have expected that.
Well, I can't wait for the final game sequence, Mass Effect 4, Elevation.
Actually, they've already announced Mass Effect 4.
Have they?
Yeah, Andromeda, I think, is the subtitle for that, and it's going to be a new story with new location and new cast of characters. Yep.
Sounds like the new Star Trek that one of the fans got to sit down with CBS is doing.
Negative contacts, Commander.
I want to look at the horrible feeling that we're like murdering somebody's children.
Funny that you should say that.
Wow, see, you know, it's one of those things. I mean, if we saw one of those guys like going through a ward at a hospital.
Alright, so there's a power problem. And looks like a train station is that way. Yeah, passenger trams. Looks like communications.
It's supposed to be the future. What do we need trains for? We have cars.
And fusion reactor. Okay, so the reactor's that way, but that door's red. Can't go there yet. Passenger tram's also red. Can't go there yet. That's a little explosive thing.
Well, if they got rid of all the people that shovel, God knows what they've done to the train operator.
Take all... I gotta check my weapons. Again, make sure... Banshee 2... Just want to make sure nobody's using anything. They should be using something better.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, see, like, there you go. Like, he should not be using that. Wrex is not good with a sniper anyway, so it really doesn't matter, but...
Wasn't he more of a shotgun kind of guy?
Yeah, he is. He is. His expertise is shotgun and assault rifle, I think.
Hmm.
That is not better. Yeah, Lancer 3 assault rifle, Scimitar 3 shotgun. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's... No significant changes there. So anyway, what do you think so far? Like, is this a thing where you're like, oh, I wish I had played this, or like, no, I can see why I never played this.
I'm liking the depth. It's very, very, I don't know how to say, flexible in a lot of things that you have to do in your order of objectives. It has interesting, well-written cutscenes, and the actors that are performing them do, you know, a pretty stand-up job. It does suffer from some of the, you know, same troubles that every sci-fi first-person shooter happens to have, but you know, that's par for the course. As far as the actual combat effects go, I mean, without actually playing with it myself to see whether or not it's
hard
a
to
type
say.
of combat. Yeah, I mean, third person has its pluses and minuses.
Right.
But you know, I mean, a lot of Halo games went back in between the two. You had, you know,
yeah,
depending on
vehicles
and things. So yeah, now the vehicle handling though, and I think that's also a known issue that a lot of people know about.
Well,
probably would get
the vehicle handling in this game was actually pretty bad. There are people who like certain elements of those sequences from this game, and they miss the exploration and the ability to land on a large variety of planets and wander around. The vehicles that they added in for the later games usually were like mission specific things, and it was like you can take this vehicle out on this planet to do this mission. It wasn't like you could just land on anything.
Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, I'll go in here.
Watching you play, though, I mean, I can't say I've been racked with the desire to say, "Ooh, I got to pick this up and do another game," because, well, simply because it's a matter of time. I've only got so.
Well, maybe when we get to Mass Effect 2, because I think because the series gets more action oriented as it goes on.
Well, it's not the lack of action that I feel deprived of. It's just that of my available time and the depth of which I know that this is, I would love to explore it and go through it quite thoroughly. And knowing right off the bat that either I would have to start it and abandon it for other things, or if I knew that I couldn't give it the time that it deserves, I would feel bad, and therefore better not to start to begin until I do have it.
Yeah, and if you I think in this playthrough we're going to be sticking pretty much to the main missions and a few side missions that I happen to like, or the ones that have impact later on. You know, like some character or location is important. But I easily spend 60 to 100 hours on a playthrough, and I've done a playthrough more than once.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. That's knowing that off the bat.
Yeah,
that just kind of
daunting
me slightly. Well,
a
little.
But again, look at Destiny, right? Doesn't have anywhere near the depth, but look at the hours you put in, right? It's not 100, it's 1,000, it's 2,000. You know.
Right, but that's more of a shared experience, where this is more of a single person. This is a single player going through a single story, and you choose certain aspects of it, as opposed to Destiny or even the Halo multiplayer. It's where you're interacting with other people, and the experience is semi-unique.
Yeah, but I would still like to have something that's not an MMO, but that has this kind of depth, but has the cooperative combat type of thing, Destiny got closer to that than I think anything else we've ever played, but still, nowhere near the depth, and still is too much along the lone hero type of plot, even when it has one. All right, VI core is inoperational. Inoperation. You can attempt to manually reconfigure the databanks or use Omnigel to repair. I think usually when I play myself, I did the manual reactivation, but you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do the Omnigel.
Isn't that supposed to be the 6 core?
Confirm. Use 100 Omnigel to repair VI core.
Yeah. No, isn't that supposed to be 6 core?
I don't know why there was a James Bond musical sting there, but
it looks like you're trying to restore this facility. Would you like
it's the paperclip. Crap! A pop-up.
I do believe that a paperclip is going to be necessary
up?
to save the species at some point.
This system is monitored to respond to the name Mira. May I ask your name?
Commander Shepard. I work for the Citadel's Special Tactics and Reconnaissance.
One moment, please. Council authority confirmed. You are entitled to secure access of all
First step is pull rank on the thing.
Please note that queries relating to corporate secrets require privileged access. Privileged access is only available to binary Helix executives. This system is ready to process queries. You may access me at any holographic interface within
So next I'm going to have to pretend to be an employee, probably.
I need to find Matriarch Benezia.
Lady Benezia departed on the passenger tramway to the Rift Station subsidiary
How would she verify that?
Well, that's
User
just
alert.
How did she verify
the tramway
this?
system is currently inoperable.
It's a good question.
Would she jump on the web? Oh, let me check her Facebook space.
Okay, damage report.
What's the situation here?
One moment, please. Diagnostics in progress. Critical failure. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures. Manual restart required. Critical failure. Landline connections are disabled. Passenger tram systems are offline. Report complete. Do you have an additional system status query?
What are the landlines and why are they disabled?
The landlines connect my mainframes here at Central Station to the various sub-facilities of Pt3. This allows the crew to remotely access my databases from the comfort and security of their labs. When emergency protocols were implemented within the hot labs, the cabling was automatically ejected.
How do I reconnect the landlines?
The landlines are designed for easy reconnection. The router for the landlines is on the roof of operations. Simply activate the controls and the hardware will reconnect and reboot automatically.
Tell me what happened here.
I'm sorry, but I need a more specific query.
The creatures we've encountered here, did they come from the labs?
I'm sorry, Commander. Inquiries related to our research require privileged access. Only executives of Binary Helix have that level of clearance.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but these particular creatures are important to the plot in a way that will come around again later on in the series, and
I would if we didn't murder them all.
Yeah, I won't say it's. this is another one of those things that people get pissed about. They say, I made a decision in such and such game, and then later on they claim, well, that decision didn't matter because basically because you're
one-to-one correlation between the cause and effect.
I think what they want, I think what a lot of people wanted is to have your character's actions be the sole determinant of what happens later. It's more a contextual thing, right? I mean, like, what happens later is more colored or contextualized by what you do,
right?
Rather than
the events would have unraveled regardless of what you do. It's just that the flavor of how it happened is what you have a choice or an effect on, not the actual outcome.
Tell me what occurred immediately
directly
before you shut down.
Stage 1 alert issued at Hot Labs. Contaminants released from Laboratory Pod Gamma. Emergency protocols implemented.
Kind of like little kids screaming in a minivan on the way to the mall.
At Hot Labs.
You're still going to get there,
but
the question is how much fun you're going to have doing it.
Landline to Hot Labs disconnected. Stage 3 alert issued locally.
Okay, so the things are in the tram tunnels.
Station shutdown and evacuation initiated. Code Omega sent.
What sort of contaminants escaped?
I'm sorry, Commander.
Yeah, so
inquiries related to our research require privileged access. Only executives of Binary Helix have that level of clearance.
That's all I need right now.
Very well, Commander.
Alright, so we gotta go to the...
User alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures. Manual restart.
Alright, so we gotta go to the roof and reconnect communications, and then we have to go to the reactor to restore power.
User alert. Landline connections are disabled. Passenger trams
and
are offline.
Again, it's going to be a big plot point. The danger represented by these creatures connects to the plot related to Wrex's race, and that'll all come out in the climax of this game.
Wow, important plot point. Everybody hit
that. Another lift.
No, not another one.
Now exiting to the roof. User alert. Landline connections are disabled. Passenger trams are
Wrex, don't you dare fart in here. I will murder you.
User alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures.
You mentioned
manual restart required. User alert. Landline connections are disabled.
Engaging target.
Whoa, frame rate.
Well, it's trying to do all this stuff. Cross your fire. Bugs. Ah! They explode?
Yep.
Now I don't feel so bad about shooting them. Their life is all going to end anyway. So I guess technically this is
Get it? I've been backed into the wall here. Is there an offensive ability I can use?
I don't know.
Overload, shield
you got
boost.
A nuclear weapon? Oh, there goes one of your characters.
Yeah, Liara's down.
I think we're in shotgun territory.
I don't think overload is going to work on this because it's biological. But my gun is also overheated, so
you could sabotage it.
Nah, again, that's another thing that works.
I think we're all gonna die.
User alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures. Manual restart required.
Nope. I didn't make it. I tried to run away and I got killed.
Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures. Manual restart required. User alert. Landline connections are disabled. Passenger trams are offline. Now exiting to the roof. User alert.
Snack machines are empty.
Connections are disabled. Passenger trams are offline.
I love how everyone has to take on and off their guns in unison.
Evacuate all the animals in the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
User alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures. Manual restart required. User alert. Landline connections are disabled. Passenger trams are offline.
Love how it IDs it through an object. Why is she aiming at the elevator door?
Well, I'm deliberately trying to cheese the encounter by hiding in the elevator.
It's a legitimate strategy.
Well, I don't want them to flank me, and they can't flank me if I don't come out.
No, it's just that she seemed to be, seemed threatened by the door controls there.
Procedures. Manual restart required.
Of course, I don't think her aim is the greatest.
User alert. Landline connections are disabled.
I'd pay real money if she'd shut up.
Passenger trams are offline.
I think you're breathing too hard.
Yeah, the sniping gets better much later on. You start getting better control.
Aim for the kneecaps. Jeez.
Still one more over on the right.
Save your ammo. Jeez, she's just like shooting everything that's probably terribly important.
User alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures. Manual restart required.
Lobster down.
User alert.
I think we get ambushed from behind once we cross the room too.
Why am I not surprised?
Oh, come on, I totally had that little guy. There we go.
All targets eliminated.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Did we level up? Did we level up again? I think we did. More decryption.
Yay!
Yeah, level 16.
You too can now open more doors.
Let's see. I guess I'll get to lift. Liara? Or Shepard? No.
She just got this frowny face and whatnot. No, Liara's got the cute look going on. I think it's the eyes, but her default mouth location, it doesn't look as sad or disruptive. And of course, Wrex is just like a squiggle, so it's like hard to discern anything other than his eyes as far as his expressiveness. Of course, his demeanor so far just seems kind of downtrodden anyway. But no, it's just that Shepard's default relaxed face look
in
just
accordance
seems,
with emergency containment procedures.
Rowdy.
Manual restart required.
All right, so there's a crate.
Oh, please tell me we get to shoot Mira, please, please.
I don't think so. It's just a hologram. I don't think you can shoot her.
Well, she's a program, but boy, she's like a a severely nasty pop-up.
Boy, Mira.
Well, that's just it, I mean, that's what that means. And yet she's not living up to her namesake
Connections
of
restored. Processing new
Spanish
data.
for chatty.
User alert. Unable to connect to hot lab facilities.
Okay, this is just the same stuff again.
Down? I'm sorry, but I was offline at the time. Shutdown could occur if reactor breach seems likely, or in the case of catastrophic laboratory containment failure. Emergency guidelines suggest the frigid environment will kill biological contagions. It may also damage mechanical ones.
What do I need to do to get the power back on?
The valves to the helium-3 fuel line must be opened. This can be done at the controls on the reactor assembly proper.
Tell me what happened here.
I'm sorry, but I need a more specific query.
That's where Benezia went, Rift Station.
Rift Station has been locked down by the staff. There are presently no contaminants within the facility.
Give me a status report on the hot labs.
I am sorry. The network connections to the labs have been damaged. Data is limited.
Alright, well that's enough for now.
That's all I need right now.
Very well. User alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures. Manual
okay, I guess I was wrong about that ambush.
I'm sure there'll be other ambushes.
Trams are back here off to the right, and reactors off to the left.
Reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures.
Okay, I was kind of right.
Manual restart required.
Just wrong about the location.
Why is all ability blocks? All right, we'll use a shield boost.
Oh, geez, shooting Wrex. Nice shooting, Wrex. Walking my line of sight. You know how trigger happy I can be.
All targets eliminated.
Yeah, so I was right about the ambush. I was just wrong about the location.
But yeah, I could have sworn something was gonna jump out at me.
I don't know. I don't know how much sense this architecture makes, but I always thought it looked neat. These ice structures outside of the transparent tunnel tubes there.
Alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency
as
containment
far as,
procedures.
Attractiveness goes on a nice planet.
Required.
Hey, look, it's a cube. But yeah, no, it's definitely neat.
Oop.
Plus, it always gives an opportunity for steam when sci-fi is required.
I think you didn't see that, but usually what happens is when you push the elevator button, if all the characters aren't in the elevator, then they teleport. But Liara got stuck upside, but now she's teleported down here. So it was kind of funny. You could clearly see she was upstairs, and not here, and then she just appears. Characters will teleport all over the place to catch up with you in this game.
Yep, there she is. That's funny. Didn't I leave you in the doorway? So no chance to abandon your team.
User
Maybe they'll
alert.
fix that in
Main
a
reactor
patch.
shut down.
Okay,
in
and now the radar has gone off.
Procedures. Manual restart required.
Save 12. Saving content. Oh, Mira.
Okay.
What level do you have to be to get a Mira mute button?
Oh. So I think the reactor below. I don't think it matters which side we go out. I think we have to spiral around and go down. Or Geth.
Oh, someone's giving me the raspberry.
Woohoo!
User alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency.
Anyway, here's some guys I can use. Oh, it's a mix.
Manual restart required.
Some Geth, and I think there are Rachni in here too. Not sure. Oh wow, okay. Him I can use overload on. And see the shadow of this guy through the door.
I didn't use that door to freaking
barrier.
Wait, is that another shadow with another door with another
boost
guy?
Warp.
Boy, nobody's ever happy to see us.
Nope. Never.
User alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures.
It's kind of weird that they show those buttons there when some of the doors open automatically and some don't.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have that level of consistency. Now I know why they shut the power off. They wanted to shut Mira up.
Well, they did want that too.
Oh, don't tell me. We're going to the crazy AI department?
No, I think they were basically just trying to conceal. Put it this way, they're obviously up to no good here. They're not supposed to be doing what they're doing. These biologicals that have gotten loose, any good? They're not supposed to have. So I think the idea is that if they were going to get out, they wanted to hide any and all information about their involvement in it.
No.
And so they were trying to wipe the local systems.
In accordance with emergency containment procedures.
I wish they couldn't wipe her.
Manual restart required.
Is he firing on us from behind, or is that my guys?
Jammers online.
Can't tell.
They should put that on a t-shirt. You do know you're putting holes in the infrastructure, right? Apparently not.
User alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures. Manual restart required.
Terminal and a storage locker. Somebody firing at the door?
She was. Liara, she was just like round after round.
Diplomatic advisory warning. The following message was transmitted from an untraceable account to multiple recipients across the extranet. Further monitoring of the situation is warranted. My fellow biotic, you've been selected to receive this transmission because of our shared plight. Few understand us.
You too may win $1,000.
Fewer tolerate us. Yeah, it's space spam. We must stand together. We must build our own new world. Come join me in the Hawking Eta cluster. Only as one body can we right the wrongs done to our kind. I think this is like an X-Men thing. All the biotic people with magical powers are going to form their own society with blackjack and hookers.
I don't know. I thought maybe the Hawking Eta cluster, maybe like the modern equivalent of Barbados.
Okay, pistol, shotgun.
You too could have won the Caribbean cruise.
Oh yeah, see, there was somebody on the other side of the door.
Well, I had a feeling somebody was, but you know, that AI is just like a little trigger happy.
I can't use overload again. What does Wrex got? I can use warp.
Yeah, just throw Wrex at him. No, I mean like literally. Just throw Wrex.
I leveled up again.
User alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures.
And the levels come fast and furious this early in the game. Let's see. First aid.
This furious.
Oop, no, wait, no. Undo. Undo. Okay. One there. Deploys Metagel to all wounded squad members, restoring their health. And let's see. Increases health. Stasis is really useful. Basically, that just freezes the enemy in place without lifting them and making it harder to target them. And throw is kind of neat. Let's see, but I'll tell you what. I'll give him. Yeah, I'll give the ability to equip heavy armor and increase the shields for Wrex. Weapon upgrades, shock absorbers. Alright, well, we'll worry about that later.
Well, for those players who are looking for, you know, deep experience and, you know, managing equipment and weapons and character development things, I mean, yeah, it's definitely loaded.
Alright, well, this is... well, okay, weapon locker. There's always loot somewhere. No Galahorn, but... You know.
I was wondering if you're going to be able to hop the railing.
Yeah, but the fall would probably kill me.
Really?
Well, I mean,
look,
use
lift, huh?
look here. Yeah, no. I would say
Liara, lift me onto the train.
Your freedom to traverse the environment is not as broad as it is in a purer action game.
Right.
You know, you're pretty much walking the paths as expected type of thing.
Shut down in accordance with emergency containment procedures. Manual restart required.
What happens if you drop something over the railing?
Like, I don't even think I can get. I don't think I even can fall off of that railing. I think it won't let me.
Which is a good thing. That's what a railing's for. I was thinking, what happens if you drop your pen down that gantry? It's like, jeez.
You get a new pen.
But you're on a planet. What if they're out? Suddenly penless in a universe that needs pens.
Okay, that's the terminal, but I want to check and make sure this other hallway is clear.
Yeah, I assume the jamming isn't, that vital. Otherwise, you would have shot those a long time ago.
Okay, here we go.
Alert. Main reactor shut down in accordance with emergency.
Fuel lines fixed. You've completed repairs. Okay, so that's the reactor and the communications.
How'd you fix him? You just kind of stood there.
Nah, I just pressed the action button.
Not to mention the fact that, I always had a feeling that maybe that was, like, cut for, a purpose.
Well, I think the idea was, again, catastrophic failure. They shut the reactor down so that the reactor won't blow up, and they trust that, oh, well, the cold will just kill everything.
Okay. Well, now that we're, like, thwarting that intent...
Yeah. Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. I'm like, all I can think of is, that line from Goonies is like, Brand, God put that rock there for a reason, and I don't think you should move it.
I was thinking more like Aliens, like, hey, we're talking thermonuclear explosion and adios muchachos.
Muchachos. Yeah, I have a feeling we're gonna have to make a rapid exit. Not to mention, when did you become a nuclear physicist? I didn't see your
Oh, there we go.
Line
ambush.
There. The rest of that. Hell, your first aid's in the toilet. They're coming through the vents. They always come through vents. Why couldn't they just make better vent technology? Something ventless.
A ventless vent?
Well, here's the thing. The vents is something people are always crawling through, in and out of, using to traverse the normal hallway systems. Why don't they just, like, do a cluster of small tubes that still could vent what you need to in the volume of air required, but yet was tiny enough to not allow passage of things?
Now, what I don't remember here is...
Online. Connected to subsidiary
whether I needed to go back to Mira, or whether it's just now you go onto the trams because the reactor is on.
In the tramway decontamination chamber. The tram station has been sealed in the interest of crew safety. Activation of the fail-safe plasma jets is recommended prior to access.
You won't let us through decon?
Access is not recommended. However, authorized personnel may override the lock. You have such authorization.
Oh, great. It's giant,
That's all I need right now.
Insurator.
Okay.
Very well, Commander.
I think what it is that between here and the tram, there's an airlock that has, like,
an insurator.
A destructive decontamination sequence, and we'll have to basically...
an incinerator.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if you
we'll have to deploy that before the door will open. The failsafe device is an elevator.
How much does Wrex weigh? He's going to take the longest to cook.
Oop, I hear something right away. Okay, see, that door's open, and that one's closed. So, again, they give you some choice, right? Average decryption. I could, if I wanted, hack that door.
Finessed. It appears that the trams to the subsidiary stations are beyond it.
Well, I could shoot what's behind it. Which are these guys?
Or you could not hack the door.
I could just push the button, yeah. Oh, you want to talk to Mira again? We could totally talk to Mira again. You want to do that?
No.
You sure? Are you sure you don't want to do that?
Oh, all right.
Oh, look. Okay, now here's a dead Solarian.
Ugh, what happened to him?
Control group,
her.
losing them. They're in. Can't escape. The tunnels now.
Gonna bring it back?
We're sorry. The leads couldn't get to the struck.
Yeah, well, you can.
He killed himself because he was part of whatever happened here.
Among my people, a suicide's body.
I'm sorry, please give me a reason why this recording is not working.
The Nathak will get to him eventually.
I finally got a copy of the South Park RPG, and there's a bit where you get abducted by the aliens there, and you find a bunch of audio logs that are all about a guy trying to get free from the ship, and all he can find are useless audio logs.
Wow.
He's like, I don't understand. Why are people doing them? I need some food. I need a way to escape, but there's nothing but pointless audio logs.
Well, what I don't understand is that every time you get a message somewhere, it's like semi-garbled, so you don't have all of it.
Right,
like that person's audio log. Why would that mess up like that? What was interfering in the recording to cause that?
It's broken. I should have used my electronics skill, apparently, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to use that.
Well, your electronics skill's kind of in the toilet.
Yeah, I guess so. You'd think this would be an opportunity to let another character do it, but as far as I can tell, there's no mechanic for doing that.
Seriously? Oh,
yeah, you can use other players' abilities in combat when they are superior to yours for various things, but not for doing like the puzzly stuff.
This
is barely a puzzle.
I mean, it's fitness. No.
Yeah, I know.
Why did I do that? Okay, so in other words, if we're gonna have lobster, it has to be raw. I mean, I'm not a fan of seafood that much anyway, so you know. Can we just leave them in there?
No, we have to go past them. So.
Oh, seriously? I thought of an alternative. I still don't see how Omnigel is supposed to get through. How's that work?
Okay. Not sure why I'm taking point all the time, but alright.
I don't know either.
Oh yeah, and you can see the shadows moving on the other side of the door.
Now that one disintegrated and that one didn't?
I think it's a graphical glitch. I don't know if that happened in the original game or maybe it's because of the back compat. I'm not really sure. Hey, come on, that happens in Destiny too. Every time a Firefly explosion kills a Shank.
Yeah, that happens in every game, but you know. I just didn't know if there was any other reason, like it was going to come back to life and bite you kind of thing, you know? It's not really dead yet, Jim.
One thing I always liked about the game is that in the non-combat mode, you can always change your character's the camera angle independently of your character's motion. So you can always like be your own little cinematographer for dramatic walking down hallway scenes.
Well, not only that, I mean, for anybody doing machinima, it must be a severe plus being able to do that. The creativity that you have is a lot
I thought so, but I don't remember seeing a lot of Mass Effect machinima.
Really? I think people would have been
stuff is just too specific, you know? Like
think of the elevator montages.
Okay, now do we get attacked again before we get in the tram? I don't remember. Nothing on the radar, and it's not jammed.
Oh, hey, something there. What? Oh no, another lift! Loving an elevator.
It's a special kind. It's a horizontal lift.
Ugh. When will they learn?
Okay.
When will they learn? Actually, you know what's the one thing that I really think would be terrible?
What?
On an ice planet with all that glass, can you imagine having to clean all those windows?
I
mean, Windex doesn't quite work on frozen windows. It just freezes.
I think you'd have to up the alcohol content.
Think of the towels. How many towels would you need to clean all those windows?